Sometimes when you're on the internet, you are not totally aware of the different things you will find. And sometimes you're just scrolling on X, and you go into the trending section and you start to see things that are quite interesting and topics that might interest you. And one topic that I've been interested in knowing about is whether or not we were going to get the so-called Tron movie. Now, I have already come on this channel and have talked about specifically what I think the next Tron movie should be. And I got into depth about, my view as to how we can go back and actually save Jeff Bridges and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in knowing what I think the next movie of Tron is going to be like, you can go back and watch that video and have that discussion with me in the comments of that video. But recently, we got a tiny teaser as to what the name of the next Tron movie is going to be. Now, they say it's going to be Tron Ares, but we can clearly see in this picture that this is literally Tron 3, but they have the 3 in the middle of the name. But we can see that this has been officially announced. They are going forward with the next Tron movie, which to me is a sign that they are wanting to expand this into a possible franchise. So why do I think that this is going to grow into a franchise? Well, ultimately Disney invested a lot into Tron. And what I mean by that at least, is that Disney recently released their Tron roller coaster in Shanghai a few years ago. And then now it's officially here in Florida at Magic Kingdom. Now, that investment has to have at least some sort of backing, some sort of way of getting, us into whatever is coming next. Now, if this is a hint as to where they want to go with Tron, I think they want to bring Tron to something a little bit further down. They want to evolve Tron in some sort of way, because they wouldn't invest all this money in a Tron coaster, being that it's a property that technically the last movie came out, over 10 years ago? So it is kind of strange to hear from, Disney now that they are going forward with a Tron movie, which has been rumored to be called Tron Ares, but Tron 3 is going to be an interesting thing to talk about. And even though we only have a photo to go off of, we can agree that Tron is a specific type of movie that is going to garner a following. And that following comes down to who is going to be in the movie. Now, based on the confirmed cast, we're getting Jared Leto in this movie. And Jared Leto has been rumored to be a part of this project for a while now. As a matter of fact, Tron 3 has been in the works now for well over maybe the past 4 or 5 years. I've heard of things on the internet that, Tron is going to be like this, or it's going to be like that, or they've put out ideas as to what could be the next Tron movie. But ultimately, right now, there's very little to talk about this movie. I mean, there's no commentary in extent that I can give anything about this movie about, other than we have a picture, and that's about it. And oh boy, was I wrong. So much so that 48 hours after I finished recording what you just saw me say, they officially started to post another image of the official look of the new Tron character, all in red. And it's fair to assume that that's probably going to be Jared Leto's character. Now, apart from that, we already have footage, like paparazzi footage of Jared Leto already in full Tron outfit. Now, that starts to bring in some suspicions about where the story may go. But, like I have already said, it's probably not going to give us too much information about where the story's going, but we can all speculate what possibly could happen in this movie. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a completely different shift in Tron, and I feel like we're going to see this property a whole lot more, maybe in the parks, other than the roller coaster, of course, but we're going to see a little bit more of Tron coming from Disney. And I would not be surprised if Disney, after this movie, focuses on a TV series, which would be pretty cool, but all in all, we can only say very little things about this movie because ultimately, we don't know much, and a photo is all we're going on after. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, we have very little information. But I would love to discuss with you guys, what kind of fan theories do you guys have? Like, do you have any theories as to what this movie is going to hold, or how we're going to tackle a new version of Tron? I mean, I really don't know. So I'd love to have this discussion with you down in the comments below. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. Now, I know I've been recently talking a lot about nostalgia, and I feel like if we're going to talk about nostalgia, I think we should go back to the very roots of that nostalgia, specifically when it comes to entertainment, and in more specific circumstances, gaming. Now, the next topic that we're going to be getting into next week has to do with a little something I have right here. Now, it's going to be a little bit different of a video, so I think you guys can kind of guess what we're going to be talking about in next week's video. But all in all, it has to do with nostalgia, the future of gaming, and why devices like these are so important nowadays. And if you want to have that discussion, we will be right here on this channel discussing that very topic with you next week.